Hi, everyone. Welcome to our One World Energy Encounter with the Zohar. This week's portion is Yitro, and we are in volume 10 of our edition of the Zohar, paragraph 519. You shall not take the name of Hashem, your Elohim, in vain. That's the article title. Let's invite in the Kabbalistic lineage of the Rav and Karen and Michael, Rabbi Schlag, Rabbi Brandwein, the Riyah Kodesh, the Ramchal, Rabbi Tarfon, Rav Avram Mazulai, Rav Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk, Rav Kolonu Mishapira Pia Setzna, the Baal Shem Tov, Rav Shimon Bar Yochai and all the students, Rav Mordechai of Chernobyl, when sold with Yosef Hetzadik in Shechem. Today is the anniversary of elevation of Rav David of Kolomai, a student of the Baal Shem Tov, so we have his assistance today. It is the 16th day of Shvat, of the month of Aquarius, so the Aquarian energy has been waxing, and now it's beginning to wane as we approach the month of Nisan. Let's also, as we connect to these verses, let's have a consciousness of connecting to the flawless universe, the realm of all fulfillment, the Garden of Eden, and channel from there the energy of healing for all those people we know who need healing. Just think about them and send them energy of healing. Shem Levar B'Chayit Chana, Sandy Bat Neti, Levi Ben Bluma, Sar Bat Judit, Sar Bat Malka, Yitzchak Ben Rivka, Mosbet Margie, Chana Bat Rivka, Yudit Masa Navan Bat Aviva, Knessa Bat Rachel Dina, Sir Peril Bat Teresa, Roxana Bat Loretta, Carol Bat Susan, Aviva Bat Nina. Let's also send energy assistance to all those souls that we know are in the process of elevating. In the first 12 months of their elevation, it's appropriate to send them energy of comfort and assistance and elevation. Also, let's connect the energy of Ahavat Chinam, unconditional love, treating everyone in the world with human decency, protection from evil eye and evil speech, ending wars in our world, the safe release of all the hostages being held by the terrorist organization Hamas. There are 3 who Hamas just announced they're releasing tomorrow. Let's also pray for them, those hostages, and their recovery and their release in a humanitarian fashion, which has not been done up till now, or at least treating them with human decency, and for the safe release of all the remaining hostages. And let's also have a consciousness of removing chaos and negativity in our world. Okay, so this is the week of the 10 Commandments. And what that means is that it's a very significant week. Now, let's read this first Zohar, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that. 519. Lo tisa, razataha ukmuha chabreya, begin the kuchabrichu kad shatil alma, at bago tohomed, suwara chada, chakika bishma kadisha, the atba la legoy tohoma, the charmaya ba an l'salka, chaman raza dishma kadisha, chakik alahut rora, the taivin umishkatakin, the hadrin achora, ushmada kaima, adyamada, go to homa. So this, as I mentioned at the outset, this is the week of the 10 Commandments. And what are the 10 Commandments? I mean, I know it's a movie, but what are they? Anyone? Anyone want to take a stab at what they feel that it... So, I mean, traditionally, if you saw the movie, Moses goes up on the mountain, comes down with the tablets, first they get broken, that's going to happen. But before they are broken, was it just like some literature that Moses came up with? I mean, he received the Torah. He received both the written Torah and the oral Torah. So basically, there were major revelations that took place up there.
David, there are many secrets within the 10 Commandments.
Yes, there certainly are, and within the Torah. The 10 Commandments stands out as emblematic of Mount Sinai, but there was much more than that. And you got to ask the question, like, why was that? And so to just put some context before we get to the specifics of this section, the creator, there was Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. I mean, like there was these patriarchs and matriarchs. The children of Jacob, otherwise known as the children of Israel, end up being enslaved in Egypt. And then they're released. Oh, what is that all about? This was all about getting back to the Garden of Eden. So when he goes up on the mountain, we are, as I started at the outset, we're connecting to the flawless universe. The flawless universe was manifest in this world when Moses was on Mount Sinai. We returned to that. We had recovered eternal life, immortality. We had reached it. So the significance of Moses being on the mountain this week is energy of immortality. That's the first major takeaway. And by that, I mean the end of pain and suffering in the world. And there certainly is a lot. So we're connecting to the end of pain and suffering this week, among other things. We're also connecting to the energy of immortality. I mean, the whole point about death being an illusion, why is it an illusion? Because your soul's immortal. Your soul continues on. So it's a huge opportunity this week to connect to that energy, that consciousness. Are we seeing it? No, but it's there. And that's where our certainty comes in. It's like this world is an illusion. And that's difficult. Let's just call that out. Seeing this world as an illusion is difficult because we don't see what's behind the illusion. Okay. So then comes the Ten Commandments, which are emblematic of the whole Moses on Mount Sinai thing. And the third commandment, which is what this article is about, is you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. And so the question is, what does that mean? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? Like, what does it mean? I'll tell you how it shows up. If you ever are required to give sworn testimony, it's like, please put your right hand on the Bible. I think it's your right. Raise your left hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You're literally swearing on the Bible. I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it. Like, I don't know how long that's been going on. But it's going on a long time. The thing about that is, I learned this as a child. We don't say, I do. Kabbalistically, when you are giving sworn testimony, you don't say, I do. You say, I affirm. Because of the third commandment, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. We don't say, I swear. We say, I affirm. The courts in the United States accept that as giving true testimony. Why do we do that? Why can't we swear? Why can't we take God? Why, if you're about to testify to the truth, why can't you put your hand on the Bible and say, what's wrong with that? I've always wondered what was wrong with that until I stumbled on the Zohar. So that's the question. And what relevance does it have to anything else going on? Now, another big part of the story this week is, Abraham, the patriarch, there isn't a portion named after him, but for some reason, we have a portion named after Yitro. Who was Yitro? Anybody? So Yitro was Moses' father-in-law. This is not about Moses naming a portion after his father-in-law. That's not what it's about. The question is why, okay, other than being his father-in-law, what is so special about Yitro? Why is the portion named after him? And what our teachers tell us is that he was a Midianite priest. He was a major elevated guy, but connected to the negative side. he was one of Pharaoh's advisors. I mean, if you're a Midianite priest, you have your own like consulting business, and you can give advice to the leaders of the time. But he was major connected to the negative side. The portion begins by Yishma Yitro, and Yitro heard. What did he hear? So one of the things that we're taught is he heard about the splitting of the Red Sea, he heard about the 10 plagues, and he heard about Moses, his son-in-law, overcoming Pharaoh and all these miracles. So is that just because you heard that, that's enough to name the portion after him? So that's not what happened. What happened was he did a complete 180. He went from connected to the negative side to seeking out the creator, the positive energy. And so what this portion is all about is doing a 180. And so the other major opportunity we have in our lives is to completely reverse our course in a positive trajectory, in a positive direction. That's what Yitro did. And that's the opportunity we have to connect with this week. Okay, let's read the English to 519. Vicky, thank you.
Okay, sure. You shall not take the name of Hashem, your Elohim, in vain. This secret has already been interpreted by the friends.
Okay, so in a literal sense, this section has already been discussed by the students of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. But it's important to remember that also within this is this idea of remembering. Remembering what? We know this information. We already know, your soul knows this. So all we're doing here is really remembering what we already know. Your soul knows everything. Your soul knows all of this. That's why sometimes when we're studying something, it's like, oh my God, this seems like so true. I feel like I've already always known this. That's because you were connecting to your soul. Your soul does know it. Let's continue.
When the Holy One, blessed be He, planted the world, He planted into the deep waters His name engraved upon a stone.
Okay, so that can be taken literally, but is it though? Is that literally when God created the world, He wrote His name on a stone and He planted it in the deep water, like a time capsule? Like, is that what this is about? So again, part of decoding life and decoding the Zohar is understand when we have a reference to a stone, an engraving, it's really a reference to our physical world. Malchut. Malchut is often referred to as the stone. That's physicality. So, and water is generally referencing the Torah or spirituality. So within the physical realm, wrapped up and surrounded by spiritual energy, is the Creator's name. During the creation process, that took place. Okay, what does that have to do with us? What is the possible relevance? It's understanding that every aspect of our reality contains the Creator's name. His name, His energy. The internal energy of everything we encounter includes the light of the Creator. There's nothing that we experience in the physical realm or situationally where the light of the Creator isn't in there. And this terrible situation, yes, the light of the Creator is there too. We don't see it, but the light of the Creator is there. I mean, but did you hear what he just said to me? Yeah, that came from the light of the Creator. Why? That's a different question. There's you and your relationship with the world, which in a deeper way is you and your relationship with the Creator. Yeah, but I have these friends and family members. I mean, that's who I have relations with. No. Every single message and situation, circumstance that you encounter is coming from the Creator. They're just the delivery of it. But they really meant it. Yeah, I know they think they meant it, and they have their journey. But your journey is understanding that all of this is coming from the Creator, 24/7. It's all coming from the Creator. Even when it's dark, there's still light of the Creator in that. And that's happening for a reason. And part of our journey is to discover what that reason is. So literally, the name of the Creator is engraved upon the physical realm and surrounded by spiritual energy. And so it's an opportunity for us right here to pull back the veil, the illusion, and see that deeper reality. I mean, my relationship issues, aren't those my issues? The Creator's involved in that? Yes. Absolutely, 100%. There's no question about it. And the minute we begin to wrap our head around that, we can start seeing like this is the work I'm here to do, to work on this, to process this, to move beyond this. It's literally the design of our reality is there to help our soul grow. Okay, then what?
Since then, when the water desires to rise, intending to drown the world, it sees the holy name engraved on that stone and retreats and returns to its place, and the holy name remains in the deep waters to this day.
Wait, David, you just told us that water is spirituality. What does it mean when the water desires to rise, intending to drown the world? Does that remind anybody of any story we read about a couple months ago? That's what happened in Noah's time. The waters rose and drowned everybody, with the exception of those who were in the boat with Noah, in the ark with Noah. So at the time, the Creator promised Noah he would never destroy the world with water again. And I say that, and I'm just connecting the dots right at this moment. I'm in Skokie, Illinois. There was a major water main break. All of Skokie is under a boil order right now. There's no water. I came into my office building. The bathrooms are closed. There's no water here. The waters are flooding the streets. Literally, cars in the frigid temperatures are being flooded. They're all stuck. I mean, you can see the videos online. And it's still flooding. They haven't found a way to shut it off yet. I'm not sure what that requires. So water has tremendous destructive potential. But the Zohar is telling us that when the waters are desirous to rise, why would they be desirous to rise? Because there's negativity in the world. There's negativity. And water is a purifying agent. So for some reason today, Skokie had to take a bath. I don't know why. I don't know why. A purifying bath. I don't know. I don't know why. Water has energy of purification. It also has energy. And this is the realm of chesed. This is the right calm. This is Abraham. This is mercy. Water in balance is merciful and purifying. Removes negativity. Removes ego. Too much water is destructive. Same thing with the left column of gevurah, of judgment. A little bit of discernment and restriction is really good. Too much is harsh and destructive. Both columns have positive and negative attributes. When they're in balance, the world is a good place, an imbalanced place. The heavens open up. The channels of blessings open up. We're at verse 5:19 in Yitro. So part of what we're connecting to here is this power of water and keeping it in balance. This power of rachamim, of mercy, of chesed, the channels that Abraham opened up. So our huge takeaway here is whatever kind of chaos you're experiencing, approach it in a balanced way. That's the opportunity we have this week. And it's an opportunity to manifest tremendous blessings. It's like, and again, that combined with the 180 that Yitro did, it's like we need, wherever it is that we're being reactive, this is the week that we connect to this energy of restriction and connecting to positivity. It's a huge opportunity, a huge opening for us. Okay, what does this water, this whole water thing have to do with not taking God's name in vain? Let's continue. Verse 520. Uvishata de omin b'nei nasha al kashot, b'kiyuma dikshot, hahu tzrora salka, umakabla hahu oma'a, va'adar v'it kayam al tehoma, ve'alma it kayam, ve'ahu ama dikshot kayam alma. Vicky?
At the time when men take a true oath, firmly attached to the truth, that rock flows up and receives the oath, and then it returns to its place in the deep waters, and the world is maintained by that true oath.
What is the truth? Well, it's this. Here is the truth with a capital T. So truth is important. You know, the word for truth in Hebrew is emet. It's the first letter of the 22 letters, aleph. The last letter is the taf, the last letter of the 22-letter alphabet, and then the mem is in the middle. But essentially, it's the whole 22 letters from beginning to end. Well, it's just the alphabet. What's the big deal? The alphabet wasn't created, the alphabet, the Aramaic alphabet that we use was not created by man. It was discovered. It was revealed to us. It's supernal. Those letters are channels to the upper realm. That's our understanding. That's what we're taught. That's what the significance of the Hebrew letters that the Kabbalists teach us. They're not, and it's not an alphabet. It's the alphabet. It's tools that the Creator used to create the world. It is the spiritual DNA for our reality. And so's truth. The world was created with truth. It was created with those 22 letters. It's a deep, deep truth. So when we're taking the Creator's name in vain, well, what happens when we make an oath? What are we saying when we make an oath? I am now going to channel the truth. Whoa. Do you know the truth? Does any of us know the truth? I have my version of truth. That is my perspective. So when we take a true oath, that rock flows up and receives the truth. The world is maintained by that true oath. Now, this is many facets, but the one I want to focus on is our authenticity. The world depends on us living an authentic life. What does that mean? Well, when I'm lying to myself about my reality, I'm inauthentic. When I'm not taking care of myself, I'm inauthentic. When I'm putting other needs, other people's desires ahead of my own, I'm inauthentic. I'm responsible to me. I'm responsible to this spark of the Creator that's in me. You're responsible for yours. And when I allow you, or we allow someone to control us, it's inauthentic. That's not what you came here for. You were given a spark, an insight to take the journey that your spark is supposed to take in this world, not someone else's. That's living your truth. That's speaking your truth. That's living authentically. That's what we're here to do. So again, that's what Yitro did. He was living inauthentic. He was connected to the negative side. He was one of the best, if not the best, at living inauthentically. And he completely reversed course. So again, another opportunity for us this week is to do a little self-audit. Where am I taking care of myself? Where am I not living my potential, my soul's journey, what I came here to do? Where am I allowing other people to determine what I'm supposed to be doing? It sounds selfish. I mean, it could be if it's a desire to see for the self, but if it's you living your soul's purpose, it's precisely what you're supposed to be doing. It's not selfish at all. It's like a betrayal of self to not live that way. So, well, what's at stake? And the world is maintained by the true oath. You took an oath when you were up in heaven before you were incarnated in this lifetime that you would do certain things. And primarily that's living your soul's purpose. Yeah, I know. I don't remember that conversation. That's what spiritual memory is all about. It's like I want to try and remember, why was I agreed to come? What the agreement was that I made? What oath did I take? So this isn't just swearing in a Bible to testify in a trial. The world is depending on you and I living our truth, living our soul's purpose, living as per the plan we came here to live. So when you're dealt a hand in cards, you play that hand. When you're dealt a hand in life, it might seem unfair, but that's rejecting the hand that you're being dealt. Well, who's dealing it? The Creator's dealing it. The Creator's dealing it because this was your soul's purpose, to handle these things. And the world's depending on it. Yes, Ron.
What do you recommend we do to discover our soul purpose?
Well, one thing very simple thing is show up on Fridays and study Zohar together. No, it's like anything we do where we're connecting to our soul and studying the Zohar and other holy writings, we are connecting to the energy of the Creator through these words, and we are attuning ourselves to it, meaning it's connecting to our soul. We get our ego out of the way, and we ask for help to see that deeper truth. But when you're connecting to the Zohar, you are more strongly connecting to your soul. It's like the first time you hear a piece of music. There's a great Led Zeppelin movie. Everyone must see it. It's just outrageous. Like the first time I heard Led Zeppelin, I mean, their compositions are somewhat complex. As the greatest rock and roll band of all time, their composition is somewhat complex. Like the first time you hear it, you're not hearing the beauty of the music. The same thing would go for like classical music. They're really complex. I don't hear the melody right away. The more I listen, the more I hear the melody, the more I start to appreciate, whoa, what's going on? It could be the same thing with a piece of artwork. I'm seeing the colors, but am I appreciating what the artist is expressing? I mean, you see the Michelangelo's statue of David. I don't know. I don't think it takes much time you can't appreciate, you see this and you're like, what is that? And then the more time you spend with it, it's like, it's like fathoming what exactly it was that he did. And all those put aside from appreciating what it is that the Creator's done. Yeah, no, but I got up this morning. I was not in a good mood. I know. It's tough. It's tough. Not sure the soul really wants to return. And so that's why it's important. As I listened to a Michael Berg piece earlier this week where he talked about, the first 30 seconds of your day is the most important time to just connect with the energy of appreciation, because you set the tone for your whole day. You're directing your attention to being appreciative of what you have. And we are blessed to have been born in this time. And we are blessed to be able to study the Zohar and to connect to our souls. Most people running around the world, they're not connecting to their souls. I guess, I don't even know, but seems to be pretty rare. So it's like all these things that we do to more firmly establish a connection to our soul, to hear our soul talking to us, to hear the messages from our guides. It's in here. It's not out there. But we're doing stuff out there. This is the world of Asiyah, as the Arizal says, the world of action. Like we have to do things to live our soul's purpose and to connect to our soul. And the things that we do that are aligned with our soul, the selfless things we do in a balanced way, are many things that we do, stepping out of our comfort zone. connecting to holy writings, reading things of a spiritual nature, thinking about life from a spiritual perspective. We're then connecting to that, the name of the Creator that is engraved on reality. And that helps us to further awaken our soul. Does that answer your question? That was a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So let's continue. Verse 521. L'sha'ata da'omu b'nei nasha omaha l'shakra. Hahu tzrora salka l'kabla la lahahi oma. Keven dechaze de'ihu d'shikra. Kedain hahu tzrora dehavat salik. Tav la'achora. Umayin azlin b'shatin. V'advan dahu tzrora. Parchan go tehome. Vit badran. Uvan maya l'salka l'chafya alma. Ula'adara le kamil kadmin. Vicky?
When men take a false oath, that rock flows up, intending to receive that oath. But when it sees that this oath was taken in vain, it retreats and all the waters flow up.
So when we live a life of inauthenticity, we are dispersing the truth. That water backs down. We are disconnected from the light. We are disconnected from our spiritual essence. You're taking your heart and you're putting plaster all around it. That's why it's so important to live your truth. And when you're testifying in a trial and you take an oath and you're trying to be true, but you're only trying your best, that's why we affirm that and don't swear on it, because the consequences, as you'll see, are significant. It's not just that the waters move away, that we disconnect from spirituality. What happens next? Go ahead.
And the letters of that stone soar inside the deep and disperse. And the waters wish to cover the world and return it to its former state of water.
Wipe out. That's what happens when you're not living your truth or we're not speaking our truth. The world doesn't continue. Yeah, I mean, but look at all the stuff that's going on. I know. Yeah, it's a crazy place. And we literally are living at a time where social media has become the best propaganda tool in the history of civilization. I mean, AI is creating videos and taking people's likenesses and showing them doing things they never did. I mean, I'm watching with my own eyes. It's an illusion. How can you tell? You really can never tell. We didn't need social media for that. But it's worse now. It's literally the best propaganda tool in history. So we need to connect to truth more. So how do I connect to truth more? Well, this is the truth. The Zohar is the truth. The holy writings are the truth. The writing of the Kabbalists are the truth. Is everything that's written true? No. And the truth is that in Rav Ashлаг's writings, the reason why he decided ultimately to create the Kabbalah Center in 1922 and start teaching Kabbalah, because it wasn't being taught. It was reserved for just a few highly evolved souls. But Rav Ashlag, with the printing press, literally, Rav Ashlag says, with the printing press, the costs to writing reduced, because when the scriveners were writing things, you had to go to a scribe and say, hey, I wrote a book. The scribe's livelihood depended on that being a quality publication. So there were checks and balances to publishing. Someone had to write it down. And it had to be good. Otherwise, it wasn't going to sell, and the scribes weren't going to extend their reputations and their livelihoods to something that wasn't good. So there was a natural check and balance in place on published material. But with the printing press, the costs and the checks and balances were removed. You could print anything, and people were printing anything. The checks and balances weren't there. And Rabbi Schlags noticed that there was a lot of false information being disseminated. And he said, this is a sign to me that I need to start publishing Kabbalah and teaching Kabbalah. And that's when he started. Because there was too much falsehood being spread around the world. And now we see the significance of that. A big deal. Why was it his issue? So, all right, maybe this falsehood being spread around. Why did he take it upon himself to teach Kabbalah? He knew that was a sign, a supernal sign, that the times had changed, that there was a huge shift taking place, and he had to fill the void of truth with the truth that he knew. And so he started publishing also. And but for that, we wouldn't be here studying the Zohar right now. So this is the reason why this is so significant is because when you question like how I should spend my time, and you pick up the Zohar, you go to a Zohar class, or you're studying Kabbalah, you're studying holy writings, like, I know my teachers say important, but how important is it? Or just the future of civilization as we know it. I don't want to overstate, but that's what it is. Literally, it's the survival of your reality, our reality. Let's take one more verse. 522. Ad zamin kuchabrichu lechad memana yazri kel di memana al shavin maftachan beraza dishma kadisha the al legabe dahud srora the chakik be advam kamil kadmin uchodein it kayam alma ba'adru mayin leduch tayu be'alda kativ lo tisa et shem Hashem elkecha l'shav. Vicky?
Then the Holy One, blessed be he, invites Yezrael, the minister, who is in charge of 70 keys of the secret of the holy name.
Okay, so then the Holy One, blessed be he, invites this particular angel, who is a minister, not just any angel. There is a hierarchy of angels. This is a ministering angel. Then, so what do you mean then? What happened first? Well, what first happened was the waters wished to destroy the world again. So what is exactly happening? Why is the water destroying the world? Because of all of the falsehood being spread, all of the sworn oaths that are taken and spreading falsehood. So there's another check and balance here. There is a very high minister, angel, who has 70 keys. Does he really have 70 keys? Is that like a big fat keychain? So, this is, again, an anthropomorphism. He has the keys. I'm not sure they're physical keys. Yes, Alex.
I'm just curious on the reference of the 70 keys, if that somehow is related to the 72 names of Hashem.
Yes, it is. I'm not going to get into the math right now, but it's definitely related to the 70 key. So I'm glad you asked that. What are the 72 names, essentially? Those are channels that we have for connecting to the upper realm. It's like, we have like our when you plug a plug-in, it's 110. Sometimes it's 220. Like, we're not plugging directly into the electricity source. It would overwhelm. We can't plug directly into the flawless universe, the upper realm. It would overwhelm us. The 10 sfirot are an example of that energy coming here in safe ways. And the 72 names are much more specific ways that we channel energy of blessings in safe ways that wouldn't cause a blown fuse, essentially. So yes. Okay, let's continue. He
then engraves the holy letters as they were before, and the world is settled by them, and the deep waters return to their place. Of that it is written, you shall not take the name of Hashem your Elohim in vain.
Okay, so that angel named has the keys, and he redoes the letters with those keys and makes everything good again and creates balance in the world. So because of that, our world continues. But this answers the question in small part as to why that commandment is there. It's just not a random commandment. It's just not like part of the creator's PR plan. Don't use my name in vain. That's not what it is. It's like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that is that we are told to go to great lengths to live our truth, to speak our truth, to discover our truth. And when we don't do that, the world is moving in completely the wrong direction. Just like Yitro was connected to negativity. He redoes his path. He does a 180. He reconnects to the truth. And for us, the opportunities for us are to speak our truth, are to look for our truth, are to live our truth. And it's a tremendous opportunity this week to do our own little audit of our souls, audit how we're living. And the universe is there to assist us this week, all weeks, but especially this week, to discover our soul's purpose and our truth, and to align ourselves more accurately with that truth. Okay, we're out of time. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vicky, for reading.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you
Shabbat
all.
shalom.
Love you all. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
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 Thank
Thank
you.
you.